Welcome adventurers, we are back painting Strontium dogs. This week we are painting the Stix Brothers. Now they drew with Billy Joe from last week's episode, so we're going to paint them. By the time you see this video, I'm hoping there'll be at least 1 or 2 polls up on my community tab, so go check it out. As you can see, I am nice and cozy in my nice purple hoodie. It is getting cold in Ottawa already. I am very cold. It's coming up to Halloween. I'm super excited, so let's just get going! Right, everybody, you know the drill. It's the same 30-odd people watching my videos. I love you all, so I truly appreciate it. As usual, I'm not going to talk about my paint job. You are going to see it as we go along. I am instead going to go through the backstory of the Stix Brothers. So the Stix Brothers, antagonists in the 2000 AD strip Strontium Dog, are a clan of apparently identical mutants of indeterminate number. All of them, bar one, are, like their father, unprincipled, untrustworthy, and utterly ruthless. They adopt a dress similar to that of a gunfighter in the American Wild West and are stone-cold killers. The Stix Brothers all, as far as we know, work for the Search and Destroy Agency as bounty hunters or Strontium dogs. The first Stix reader ever encountered competed with Johnny Alpha to hunt down Adolf Hitler in the incident known as the Schickel-Gruber grab. I probably butchered that, didn't I? But was killed during the attempt. Later, 2 of his brothers, as they usually work in pairs, entered the employ of Alpha's father, the mutant-hating bigot Nelsa Bunker Krillman, who used them to attempt to get revenge on his son. They slaughtered the inhabitants of Jock's Landing on the waterworld of Och 11 and blamed the killings on Alpha and his partner Wolf Sternhammer, leading to termination warrants being put out on the blameless pair, and also murdered Harvey, the director of the doghouse, so that Krillman could replace him. These 2 Stixers were also killed by Alpha. Several other Stix brothers, some of them named like Elvie, Aaron, and Wheatus, have been seen since, often clashing with Johnny Alpha or others such as the vampire woman Durham Red. A Stix called Lupus was employed by the terrorist mutant William Blood Moon when he was trying to evade justice, but he couldn't stop Blood Moon being found and killed by Johnny. Years later, 2 Stixers called Pikey and Bovis worked with Johnny and some other mutants when repossessed a huge space rock of money, bounty hunting not being what it used to be. The Stixers managed to get through the entire job without being evil, but were left highly disgruntled when the aliens who had hired the team confessed that they couldn't actually afford to pay them. It remains unclear how many Stixers there actually are, but by now there are probably hundreds. On the planet of Fredonia, there is a whole town full of them, including Stix women and children, and the place is called Stixville. What a hilarious name. And that is that. Well, all things considered, that's pretty short for even the characters of Strontium dogs. Wow, I thought the Stix would actually have a bit more background, as they have appeared in quite a few stories over the years. But we're not quite finished yet with them. So the powers, they have superhumanly durable skin. They're not bulletproof, but they do have the ability to withstand certain diseases or harsher conditions compared to a normal human. They also possibly have some form of limited mind reading abilities. They're usually seen as bounty hunters, so they have all the abilities and skills that would come along with that, and their strength level is pretty much higher than a normal human, as they are able to crush concrete with their fingers. Their only real weakness is that they're a little bit slow. They're pretty much willing to use any weapon and any transportation, so there's nothing really special there about them. It's very strange, yeah. So the little bit of trivia here to finish up, and then we'll have to talk about the paint job. The Stixers never talk about the white sheep in their family. Father Pineris, a Stix brother who is not only a Catholic priest, but also a genuinely good person. Oh, the shame of it, Stix Brothers. How dare you have that hidden away in your family tree? Now, the downside of these characters not actually having a lot of background. Why Strontium dogs? Why do you not have more info on the Stix Brothers? I'm going to have to talk about the paint job, aren't I? Now, let's get this out of the way. One of my lamps was off, so the screen looks a little bit darker than it should be. I will fix that in a little bit, and I do apologize. But yeah, I started off with the way I do with most of my videos. I painted the models black, nice heavy black prime. Over that, I used the golden maple fair skin paint. That was just a nice heavy dry brush, just so that I could see the details. Now, in the comic strips, I guess, is it the duster coats they're called, and the wide brimmed hats? They seem very pale. Now, obviously you don't have to stick with that. I've seen some beautiful versions where it's dark brown, very dark brown leather colors. I've seen people paint these black, red. You can paint them any color you want, but realistically, if you want to be comic book accurate, you're going to go for a slightly paler tone. Now, I was looking through my paints and I wasn't sure how I was going to achieve this. I was thinking maybe sand golem, but I thought that might end up a bit too dark. So instead, I decided to take a risk. Now, hopefully you saw this earlier in the video, I heavily painted the faces on these models, so the skin tone on the face was going to be a solid fair skin versus the dry brushing that was on the coat. This gave me a two-tonal effect with this one color, which was quite nice to have achieved. And over that, I was able to apply the Reichland flesh shade. Now, at this stage, I was not sure if this was going to work or not. Worst case scenario, I would have to continue making the coat darker in color and work out how to brighten it up later. But I got lucky. The coat came out in this nice pale tone, whereas the face still looked fleshy without blending into the coat. So I really lucked out there. Once that was dry, I was able to pick out all the trim and his harness with the hardened leather color, which was also very nice. It was quite actually relaxing to do. I started with the gloves and then I went around with the brush point, just picked out everything. Now, speed paints, a lot of people just think you can slap it on and that's kind of the end of the job. But if you're patient and delicate with the paint, you can actually get some real detail with it. So I do recommend you trying it out if you want to. And then after that, you're pretty much catching up to the video right now. So I grabbed the fair skin again and just picked out a few little details on the model, like the hair. They're seen in the comics with this shocking white hair, which I quite enjoy. So the fair skin is going to work nicely for that. I also just picked out some buckles on the uniform. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep them brown or do a different color later on. I probably will go in at a later date and change the color on them. But for now, they're going to stay that fair skin color until I think it through. After that, it's pretty simple. It's Gravelord Grey on the guns, and then Slaughter Red for the Strontium badge. And that's it. So we are now into the glamour shots. I hope you enjoyed. It's a very quick, a very dirty tabletop ready painting video, as is always the case with Adventures with Peps. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go buy yourself a hoodie if you want one. And yeah, I'll catch you in another video again real soon. I do appreciate you all sticking with me through the highs and lows of this year. I know life's been difficult, but every like, comment, subscribe helps. If you fancy buying me a cup of coffee and getting your name on the wall of supporters at the end of the videos, see the button below. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video soon. As always, cheers for watching. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then go watch this one. This one up here. Give it a click. Bye-bye.